struggle of existing. We exist. And we've all got certain things that we find difficult to do in life. And we compare it with what other people have that are better at it. We're always comparing ourselves to others. And we think we're not good enough. We're not doing enough. The thing is that no one understands your circumstances as much as you do. No one can never know the full extent of who you are and what you're going through in life. You know, for an example, for confident people to say to socially anxious people, like, just come on, it's easy, just socialize, do all this, to just assume that it's easy to be confident really diminishes that person with social anxiety and their struggle with it. Because this confident person hasn't lived through this person with social anxiety. They haven't lived through their life. They don't know the circumstances. They don't know what feelings and thoughts and traumas they've gone through. And then what happens is you compare yourself. The person that has social anxiety feels guilty or bad about themselves, that they're not doing anything to change it. And they're trying to be confident and they're like, I can't be confident. And then they beat themselves up because they can't do it, It's a common thing in my life is that I just feel like I need to be doing more, but I'm not doing enough. And I'm denying my feelings because, we all do it. We all try and avoid our pain. When pain comes up, we try and avoid it. We don't like feeling pain. Life is cycles though. You go up and you come down and up and down. But when you're down, we avoid it. We accept when we're up. We can accept that, we can love that, but when we're down, it's a lot harder to accept and love that. So we try and avoid it, we try and get away from it, we try and deny the existence of it. We go fucking stuff ourselves with food or alcohol, or TV shows or technology, whatever. We just avoid ourselves, which is really abandoning ourselves. It's really abandonment. It's like having a kid, your own child, cry to you in pain, asking for help, and you turning away from it and not acknowledging it or looking at it or helping it. That's what this is like. That's tough, you know? Because they're like, for an example, there's a part of me that wants to fucking strive, wants to do the best that I can, you know, wants to, you know, taking more action on what's best for me and what I need, and doing all this. There's a part of me that just like is like, I need to fucking move. Then there's another part of me that stops me from moving. It's like, I can't move. Like, can't you see I'm suffering here? And then the part of me that wants to move gets fucking fed up with this other part of me that's in pain. And it's like, come on, just fucking let's go. And it's like a parent talking to a crying child, their crying child that doesn't want to do something, and the parent going, come on, just fucking do it. You've got to fucking do it. You know, this is what it's like. Is it one part of me is putting on the brakes, saying, I can't go any further. Look at me, I'm in pain, I'm suffering. I need help, I need love. And the other part of me saying, fucking hell, why do you have to be so complicated? Why do you have to be so fucking slow? And why can't you just fucking move? Why can't you just do what you're told to do? And of course, the one that's putting on the brakes, it isn't moving because it's in pain, is of course, that's not going to help in any way, is it? When the fuck has that ever helped? Someone not doing something because they feel like they can't, and then someone else coming and saying, just fucking do it, and getting all angry with them because they're not doing it. When has that ever fucking made them do the thing? You know what I mean? And so it's love. It's all love. If you want to fucking change this. But here's the thing, is that you can't expect a time. You can't expect how long this is going to take. And you can't just be like, they're not doing what I'm telling them to do. I'll just love them so they do what they're meant to do. No, that's still a form of manipulation and control. You're trying to love them so they do what you want them to do. But really, you have to love them and accept that they may never do what you want them to do. And you've got to be okay with that. That's really what it comes down to. And the paradox is that as soon as you become okay with it and love them and accept that they may never change, that is the point in which they do change. And what I'm talking about is like two aspects of yourself. Like, we all have these personas, we all have multiple fucking personalities within us. So I'm talking about like this one that's in pain and that fails to do what this other one wants it to do. And so it's really, You know, if this one wants this one to do something, then this one's got to love that one. But you can't love them with the intention for them to change and to do what you want them to do. You just have to love them and accept and understand and care for them. And that's hard, because that's really giving up your control. Because it's hard to love what you don't like. You can love what you like easily. You can care and understand for the things that you like about yourself, but the things that you don't like about yourself, where you're stubborn and you don't move, and where, all these things that seem like you are the barrier to your highest potential, where you limit yourself, where you sabotage yourself, where you doubt yourself, all these barriers. And it's like, if I could just get rid of these things, then I could live my highest potential. If I could just get rid of my unworthiness, if I could just get rid of my social anxiety, if I could just fucking ditch that and get it aside, then I could do what I need to do. But you can't just ditch it, you can't abandon it. It's always there, it's always going to be there. So paradoxically, the only way to get rid of it is to love it to death, is to love it and accept it. And accepting it means that you accept that it could be here forever. You don't accept it for it to go away. You don't accept it with the intention for it to fuck off, because that's not accepting it. You have an ulterior motive where you just say, I'm just going to accept this and I'm going to love it, so then it can get out of my way. It doesn't work like that. You have to actually genuinely 100% accept it. And that means accepting it like it's going to be here forever. But yeah, like I said, the paradox of it is that once you do finally accept it and give it all your love, that's when it moves out of the way and you can start living your highest potential. But with that as the intention, it doesn't work. So it's very kind of weird, eh? But it is, that's the way of the universe, that's how it teaches you. It teaches you to just love everything as it is and not have any attachments to certain things, to outcomes. It's hard, it really is, because there are times when you're striving and you're going you're doing something new and exciting and life seems like it's blossoming, and then there are times when all that shit becomes old and you're stuck, it seems like you're stuck back being new and you've gone backwards, and it seems like you're falling back into your old habits and you seem to be not doing anything, and then there's a tremendous amount of guilt and resentment and doubt and self-hatred or whatever it is for you, anxiety and whatever. The important thing is to love it as yourself. And it's hard because we want to just go, we want to just, we want to fast track our way into blossoming again, into being excited about life. And, you know, I mean, we all have these fucking traumas in our lives. Every one of us is brought into the world and conditioned, and during that process we all pick up these just things that fuck us up. But they're here to be loved. The things that were put onto us that are fucking us up were put onto us by other people. And those other people with those same traits that were put onto us were not loved. You know, for instance, your parents are conditioning you from an early age, and they're putting all the things onto you, the aspects of themselves that were loved, but also the aspects of themselves that weren't loved. And so then you're conditioned with all this stuff that is loved. And so, you know, naturally there are things that you love about yourself, but then also these things are put onto you that were never loved in them. And so you have them now. And so if you want to break that fucking generational trauma, then it's love that's going to do that. And if you don't love it now, then the next generation, you know, if I had kids, I would put that shit onto them. The stuff that I never loved about myself, it would get passed on down to them. And so if I want to stop that, I've got to love it here. And love doesn't mean you condone it or whatever. Love is just care and acceptance and understanding. But we all have a vision in our mind of how we should be, of how things should be, and so we deny the things that are. We go, this shouldn't be how it is. It shouldn't be like this. I don't want this. But the truth of the matter is, it's here. And you don't have to want it. You don't have to like it. But you do need to accept it. You do need to see that it's okay, that it's arising. It's hard as well because a lot of times you don't really know what you're feeling. It's just this atmosphere of loneliness or unworthiness or confusion. You can only just have the intention of love. Just have the intention of love. I don't fucking know how to love these things. I don't know how to fucking care for them, understand them. I fucking, you know, deny a lot of feelings within me. I don't want them there. But you just gotta just admit to yourself that you don't know how to love these things. I mean, we all want to be loved, don't we? So just have the intention of, I don't know how to love myself, but I want to. That's the starting point of it. And really what you're loving at the core is yourself. You don't have to love the feelings that you have. You just have to love yourself. Your innocence, your inner child. Because that's really what's happening, is these feelings show up again and again. And they're there as an indicator that parts of you were never loved. Because we go through cycles of our personalities, really. We've got a lot of fucking personalities in here, and we cycle through them. And some are loved, and some aren't. And so what we need to do is love all the personalities, and not just some. We've got to love the ones that aren't accepted in society. Because it's you, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what personality you're in at the moment, what's been cycled around, it's always you who's experiencing it. It's always you who's experiencing the personality. And that's the one that always needs love. But what's happened in our lives is that we cycle through these personalities, and some of the personalities that we're on, that we're playing out, are not accepted in society, and denied, not accepted. And so we never got love from that. And so when these personalities cycle around, there are some that are loved, and there are some that were never accepted and loved. And then that's the time when you need to love that within yourself. I don't know, man. Life's hard. We didn't choose this, you know. We didn't choose to be born. But when you can get in touch with the present moment, however it is, you can realize that there's a bigger plan for you going on. That there's some higher intelligence going on. This intelligence that, you know, this animating intelligence, this animating force that can listen to the words that I say, that can say the words, that can move my fingers, that grows the grass, that moves the clouds. Everything, just this animating force, this intelligence. There's a higher fucking thing going on here that you, your little personal separate self, your ego, is not controlling. And that thing has a higher plan for you. So it's putting you through these hardships for your highest potential. You're here for a reason, and you're here to grow. Growing doesn't just happen in the fun times. You would never grow if you were happy all the time. If you're emotionally happy, you'd never grow. It's always changing. Everything's always changing. Your feelings are always changing. You go from happiness to sadness to loneliness to anger to fear to anxiety. Just going through, cycling through these emotions. And each time they come up, they're asking for your love.